The Young Matildas play on an icy snow-covered pitch. We've got A-League NWSL back in action. I'm back with my favorite three. Three. I'm my own favorite. My favorite two. Michelle, feeling under the weather this week. Sucking down that orange juice. How are you this week, mate? How was the derby? Bouncing back?
Class. 3 points. 6 points, I should say. Never in doubt, unlike someone over here.
Yeah, Cody. Wanderers were going to win. What derby did you say?
Well, I said they'd win one of them. They couldn't win either, so either way, I was going to be well off. I did say that Sydney would win the men's. So I got 50%, which if I got in school, I'd be very proud of.
Still
So I'm taking
50%
it.
wrong too, Cody. So,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I'm
you can't win
50% right.
everything.
It's glass half full, Josh. It's glass half full.
Let's head back to Tashkent, folks. We've just come from there. We're going to head back there again. If anyone at home didn't watch the game last night, the Young Matildas are in action in the Asian Cup for the under-20s, and they kicked off their group campaign against South Korea last night in probably the worst international football conditions that I have had the pleasure of watching. I don't know if either of you got to watch much or you just saw the stills, but that was not playable conditions by any means. It was disgusting to watch. And then the grounds crew come out at halftime and only clear half of the center circle. And luckily everything went our way in the second half. Otherwise, there probably would have been a riot. Cody, did you catch any of the game? What were your thoughts? Yeah. Take it away.
Yeah, I don't know how much you can actually. I'd love to be able to sit here. South Korea is probably the best team we're going to play in the group stage. I would love to be able to sit here and analyze the performance, see how we're going, see how we look in the context of the Under-20s World Cup coming up. Can't really do that because we're playing on basically, I don't want to say cow paddock, but I guess the Greenland version of it. It was, it was pretty bad. I missed the South Korea goal. I started watching it after that, and then most of the second half, I got to see our two goals, which I'll take. Maybe they started playing well when I tuned in. It's a bit of luck, I guess I have that effect on football teams. Not really. Most of my teams suck. But yeah, no, it baffles me that not in the context of they shouldn't have let the game go ahead. They cleared a lot of the snow before the game by the looks of things because they just left a big patch in the middle. Why didn't they just finish the job? It really shouldn't have been that hard.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do it for half the pitch, you can do it for the other. And from what I've heard, they've had the Men's Super League playing at the same time. All their pitches were in very, very good condition. So
I mean, Uzbekistan's group game played at the exact same time and their stadium was clean.
yeah,
So, yeah.
it's crazy. Maybe they just wanted to get some points off us at South Korea. Hopefully we play a ball, nil or draw. And Uzbekistan have a better chance of going through to the World Cup because of that. But they couldn't even beat Chinese Taipei. So let's be real. They're not going anywhere, are they?
No. Michelle, any thoughts on snow-covered pitch gate is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, not good, obviously. Like, someone could have gotten really injured. Indiana Dos Santos did go down. I believe that she got tackled pretty badly. So, yeah, I just think, where was the care factor from the AFC, especially for, like, young players who are still developing their skills, developing as human beings. So, yeah, I just think AFC's really done both sides dirty in the situation. I think someone was telling me that the last time that we played Korea, it was like a 9-1 or 9-0 loss or something. So to win it 2-1 is incredible for one. And yeah, just shows the character of this team, just shows the talent that we have at the moment. I think this young side is, this is our future, senior team. And I think, yeah, it's just great to see how well they're doing. And, of course, selfishly, it sucks like that 6 players from Sydney FC are in this team in the middle of the season. But like, obviously, it's so good to see that these will be our new people coming into the senior team.
Yeah, 100%.
On that, Michelle, that game you're talking about, 9-1, but the person who scored our 1 that day was Mary Fowler.
There you
So
go.
you're talking about a side that had quality in its side. It's not like we were in a period where we just had no players coming through. I've just pulled up the lineup now. I did a quick Google search while you said that. I was like, I'm actually intrigued. So I knew I'd heard it before. Some of the players that we had playing in this game: Charlotte Grant, India Page Riley, Deb Delaharp, Morgan Aquino, Mary Fowler, Aiden Keane, Claudia Miocic. Players that are either doing well in the A-League or just generally good players. Some have gone on to the national team as well. They were getting smacked by a Korea Republic side who, I'll be real with you, I don't think they've depleted at all in women's football.
No,
We've just grown that exponentially in terms of our talent pool.
I think
So
it
if we've got a side that could lose 9-1 and go on to have an impact on the Matildas, what are these girls going to do?
Yeah. And look, it was once they figured out how to play with the snow in the middle, and push around the outside, things clicked really well. To be fair, the South Korea's goal as well came from a bobble by Chloe Lincoln. It was a bit hard. Cold arms, straight into the chest, off her arms, and it just dropped straight in the path of a South Korea attacker. So all in all, pretty strong. It's going to be good to see them and see how good they are on a fully clear pitch where they can get the run of play and go really well, because down the wings they looked incredible, just couldn't do anything through the midfield, so it kind of forced everything wide. So
That's I'd say that's good coaching from Leah Blaney as well. I think one thing we have in this country, and this isn't just solely an issue in the women's game. This is a nationwide issue that we've got, where coaches are extremely, extremely stubborn when it comes to their style of play, and no matter what's in front of them, no matter what they're facing, they will go, these are my principles, this is what I'm doing. Sometimes it works. When you're Ange Postecoglou, you can do that, and it works because you're generally a world-class coach. But we don't have many coaches in this country that are willing to adapt and willing to, even if to a certain extent they keep their core principles, willing to adapt certain factors of their game based on what's in front of you. There's coaches out there in Australia that would probably see a pitch like that and go, no, fuck it. We're playing possession-based football. We're playing through the middle. I don't care if it's snow. You guys find a way to deal with it. Whereas Leah Blaney was happy to go, this is obviously shit. We've got to find a way to work around. We've got to find a way to play with it. And we did. The reality is our first goal, the one that Petra scored, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was Zara Kruger that got the assist.
Mm-hmm.
Great chip through ball, by the way. But it was played in a way that it landed perfectly in the path of Petrimus because the snow basically held it up. So it's dropped dead, and Petrimus is able to run onto it. You play that in other conditions, probably runs off to the keeper. But we've gone into a situation that isn't ideal. Losing at one stage as well, and being able to turn the game around, get 3 points, and possibly already seal qualification to the under-20s Women's World Cup. So
100%.
absolutely fantastic.
Just looking at where things are at, I've lost my screen. I was organised, guys, I promise. So our group, we come against Chinese Taipei on Saturday. We got Uzbekistan Wednesday, so we could pretty much have things. If we get 3 points up on Uzbekistan and Chinese Taipei beat Korea, we've pretty much got things wrapped up going into that last game, dependent on a result and things like that. So very good to see the young faces coming through, and it's probably a really good thing for you younger fans or people new to the Matildas to be watching this right now, because in the course of the next cycle, maybe not for the next World Cup, but definitely for the World Cup after, these are going to be the faces that are going to be taking things to the AFC and looking at the Olympics and the World Cup, and these faces are going to start pulling up. Cody's got another thought bubble.
I just realised that list of names that I rattled off to you, that played in that 9-1 loss to South Korea 5 years ago, that was the bench. Those players are named on the bench. We had Courtney Nevin, Kyra Cooney Cross, Susan Fonsonkamp, Princess Abini, Carly Roseback, and Chelsea Blizzard, Rachel Lowe, all actually starting in that game and playing. And Mary Fowler was another Fowler on the bench that I was looking at. That's a core of a squad that's gone on to play for the Matildas in one of our best World Cup and our best ever World Cup run. and they went through that at youth level. So I reiterate my point. If that's the side that could go on and do something at the Matildas, what are these girls going to do?
8 years' time, let's go. We're hosting the trophy.
What is it?
Let's
20,
go. Michelle's trying not
2033?
to get too excited.
2033 World Cup champions. I like that.
Let's go. We got this. I'll get it tattooed now. All right, let's bring things home. I'm jumping in the sand and now I'm getting a tattoo, guys. You heard it here first. All right, let's bring it home. Western United and Canberra turned around after the Matildas game on Wednesday. Lagazzo and Heyman got runs. Lagazzo, I think, played the full 90, I believe. No, she got bought off at some point, and Michelle Heyman played the back half coming off the bench. Both got goals after coming out of the green and gold, which is great to see. Hannah Keane got a gorgeous hat trick, and Devon Jackson wrapped up the 6th goal out of everything there. Western United just keep rolling, guys. They're doing things at the right end of the season. It's looking pretty interesting to kind of look at the way things are shaping up, especially I think Man City dropped points again this week. Yep, 2-0 loss to... Yeah, that's what I meant. Did I see Manchester again?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I wish Manchester City dropped points this week, but they didn't. My bad. It's going to be a very, very tight title race, Michelle. How are you seeing Western United shape up for the end of the year, and what are you liking looking at them right now?
Not a lot, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I don't want to look at them. And I don't want them to win. But no, I mean, from where they started pretty poorly at the start of the season, and where they are now, which is at the top, is obviously, great for them. Credit to the girls. But yeah, I mean, Hannah Keane has been relatively quiet this season, and then manages to get a hat trick against Canberra. So, and once again, Canberra proving that they have the worst defense, but some absolute powerhouse attacking. But yeah, like, I don't know what's to say that they're doing well. Everyone on that team looks to be clicking, and it's obviously clicking, and that's also probably due to the fact that the season is a lot longer than it has been. So yeah, I mean, they're winning and they're at the top, and hopefully someone can bring them back down.
Cody.
Yeah, look, honestly, I'm going to sound like a broken record saying it, but what Kat Smith's been able to do since coming into the side has been absolutely brilliant. She's turned a corner with them. Obviously, it comes back to the fact that there was a good side there, and they've just now got a coach that can 100% fully commit themselves to the team. Obviously, I say that with no disrespect to Mark Torcaso at all, but the more this Western United side goes on, the scarier prospect they become. I think that's now, I'm just going to pull it up to double check it myself, but I believe, 6 wins in a row.
Yeah.
That is incredible form to be going into a top of the table, possibly title deciding clash in. And that is one that I don't know if Michelle will be looking forward to on Saturday. Actually, I don't know about you, Michelle, but if I'm in your position, that's the sort of match I do look forward to.
No.
I mean, it's not... You can look at it as an issue, but you can also look at it as an opportunity. That's what I'm trying to say.
Does it
Cody,
scare you?
Cody, you're just far too positive for me.
We said this
And-
last
Very
week too,
arrogant.
Cody. You still haven't...
Like, I don't think you understand. I'm not a positive person.
There
I
can
don't
be
want to
nerves
look at the
around it,
bright
but
side.
put it this way. If you go into that game, you go to Western United, obviously they're coming to use, but you come out of that game with a 2-3-0 win and set yourselves up to possibly take over them before the end of the season. Is that not a great day out?
Yeah, if we win. But we have
Yeah.
a very depleted squad, and their squad is looking pretty solid.
They've got 6 players in Uzbekistan right now, Cody. Didn't you hear that 5 seconds ago?
Oh, I'm well aware of it. But I still think if Sydney FC have an opportunity to do something really special here.
Yes, but that opportunity only comes if they win. That opportunity
Well,
doesn't just get handed to them.
I mean,
And now
matches-
they're absolutely, but their backs are up against the wall.
that's when the best stories come about.
I'm not
Football
disagreeing with
romantic,
you.
Michelle, let me go.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Oh.
I'm just saying that we have 6 players out, and they're
Yeah,
top
but you
of the
got
table.
Kaylee
and-
Halentenica available. That's
And they're a squad that is like completely unified. Like, not saying that Sydney isn't, but this is a Sydney squad that doesn't have like 6 key players. Or
It's
I'd
always
say
an
like,
opportunity for someone
you
to
know,
step up.
there's like 4 of them who are like starting players in that Sydney lineup and they're not there. Like, you can't just keep saying it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity.
Oh,
Yes, of course it's
I'm
an
not here saying
opportunity.
you guys are going to win, but it is an opportunity. You can't deny that.
It's not saying it's an opportunity. Like, of course it's an opportunity. We all know it's an opportunity.
Exactly. I'm just reiterating the point.
Right,
Gotta
we're
have fun.
moving
Come
on
on, football.
before you guys
I'm gonna
fight.
kick your head in.
Let's continue on the Sky Blue though, Michelle, because you did win a Derby week this week. 2-0 win, a pen, and I think it wasn't a debut goal, but it was a maiden goal for Kaylee, was it?
Yes. Well, it's her debut for the A-League Women's.
There you go. So maiden goal on debut for the league, essentially.
Yes. Yep.
Perfect.
League debut.
And to wrap up a 2-0 win in a cross-city rivalry, what a better way to do it. We've already had the discussion about you not disputing the red card that I... Oh, no, sorry. We are disputing the red card. We're not disputing the penalty is what we came across. Is that right? Because what I saw on TV, it shouldn't have been a penalty, but Cody's saying his eyes are better than the referees, and he said it definitely was.
No, I
They
think
gave
my
it
eyes
a
are just as
penalty.
good as the referees because they came to the same decision.
See, it didn't look like a penalty on TV, I'll tell you guys.
Still learning
Nah, to
football.
be fair, every camera angle of it I watched, it didn't look like a penalty, but I swear with my own eyes I saw it was Tyler Henniker that won the penalty as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I swear to God I saw with my own eyes McComiskey got a touch on it.
Oh,
I just didn't see it
sorry.
on the TV and I was like,
I was watching it
looking back
live
on
and
it,
I didn't see it,
it does
guys.
look bad.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
If I'm a Wanderers player, I'm complaining about it. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
straight
and
up,
they
even
did.
if it's
Don't
clear.
worry.
They did non-stop. That's what they do best. But I think, like, overall, that game was so frustrating because we should have won it in the first half. Like, we
Yeah.
should have had like 2 or 3 goals up. Princess Abini and Abby Levin both missing some absolute sitters. Shay Connors at the end missing the most, like, the easiest goal in
Yeah.
existence. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously they were given a red card, which has now since been rescinded, and Vicky Bruce will not serve a 1-match suspension. But yeah, like at the time, I can understand why Casey Rybelt would give it as a red card, but this is where like the assistant referees have to come in and then say, actually, no, there was, another player there. There was, there was another defender, like, but so is the rules. I mean, clearly it was wrong because they ended up, saying that it wasn't a red card in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Wanderers maybe had a couple of chances. They didn't have that many chances. Sophie Harding had a really good chance. But overall, I think Sydney just outplayed them. They just, need to learn how to shoot and score a goal.
Cody, what do you think about your home team's loss?
See, I thought the first 15, 20 minutes, Wanderers played really good and actually looked like they were going to make my prediction come true for a little bit. Once Sydney got in their groove, though, it was one-way traffic. I think it was a weird one. This is why I hate looking at stats, because if you look at it, I know people harp on about possession way too much. It looked like a 50-50 game. Even in the number of shots, it looked like a 50-50 game. But Sydney were the ones creating the best chances throughout that match. I think it was about the 45th minute, I was sitting there looking at this going, Wanderers are basically getting away with murder here. Sydney could have at least had 3 goals just in that last 5-minute period before the injury time of the first half started. The Wanderers were probably fortunate that they were going in a half time still with a fighting chance. But look, best team comes out in the end. Sydney FC played well, even if they needed to grow into the match a little bit. But that's what good teams do. It's funny though. You talk about 6 players out. You've still got so much quality in that team, and when you have someone who's making their A-League debut in Kaylee Hallen-Tanika, and she's able to come onto a pitch and do what she did, it's fantastic. It's just, and that's someone that's not even going to play for a country. That's someone that's just sitting there coming through now. There's a lot of good talent in this country, and somehow they all manage to work their way over to Sydney FC. I don't know how they do it. You guys must have some really bloody good pull power, and look, to be fair, you guys are nurturing and looking after them well, but it's a fortunate position to be in, and you know what? It's good the fact that it looks like you guys aren't going to be affected as much as what maybe the initial thoughts would have been. going into this period. Obviously, there's going to be a bigger test coming with Western United, but you've got players that can go out and play some good football still. So if I'm a Sydney FC fan, Michelle, I don't know how much solace this is going to be for you, but I'd be quietly confident moving forward still.
Yeah, I mean, there's still confidence, but I think you need to be realistic as well. Like, you're going up against, one of the better teams in the
The
competition.
reality is, even if you had a full strength squad, you're probably still going to be up against it.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, Cody.
But hey,
Like-
it's still a chance to do well. I don't care. I say
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. There is always a chance to do well, but realistically, it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. Like, it's still a challenge. It's still hard because you still have to go up against the team.
Way.
Yeah, of course it is. But that doesn't mean that, like, you can just, like, say, oh yeah, nah, they can win this game. There's an opportunity here for them to do something great. Every game is an opportunity for someone to do something great. It doesn't just mean that, like, it's going to be given to them. You still need to be able to show up on the day and play
I'll
well.
give you an insight into my mentality. And I was going to say this last week if you asked me the question, but we never got to it. When the Olympics come around, you know what my dream group would be? Like, just based off the pots that Josh, you kind of gave to us last week. I'd take Group 4 would probably be the African sides of New Zealand. I'd take Nigeria because I reckon they're the best team in Africa. We're pot 3. Obviously, we're going to go in there. Pot 2, I'd probably go with Germany. No, Canada. So that way, pot 1, we can have Spain. That would be my dream group because I just know if we get out of that, we would look so fucking good. And
Yeah,
that's
but we
the
won't
sort
beat
of stuff
Spain.
I like. Yeah, but what if we do?
See, this is where your
But you can't
optimism is
play
a bit
on.
of
But
a.
you can't play on what ifs, Cody. What ifs kill you? That's literally what kills people.
Maybe.
What
but-
if Milos Nikovic never left Sydney FC?
Yeah, what if Milošević never left Sydney FC?
Exactly. You can't think about the what ifs because they don't exist.
Here's a what if for you. What if he did score that 1-1 with Redmayne in that first derby he played for Wanderers?
What if Redmayne never saved the penalty against Peru?
Football in this country would be in a bad state, wouldn't it?
It already is, Cody. Let's be real.
Hey, at
All
least
right.
the women are doing well.
Mum,
That's why we're
Dad,
here.
let's stop going down rabbit holes. We've got a podcast to do. Let's go to the upset of the weekend. Brisbane taking down Melbourne City in a result that Michelle is probably very happy to see because it closes the gap. 2-0. And we've already mentioned 3 of our Matildas on the show so far, with Lagazo and Heyman scoring. We mentioned Sophie Harding having an impact for Wanderers. Meeks goes and scores for Brisbane. The girls come back and just go boom, 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 and show us why they're in the position they're in. Brisbane coming from seemingly nowhere to not only kind of hold Brisbane, but stop them from shooting, which has been a huge thing. They had 4 shots on target the entire game. They did have 66% possession, which is a bit terrifying. Completed double the amount of passes than Brisbane. But Brisbane put the ball in the back of the net, and that's all that counts in this game. How excited are you by seeing a goose egg next to Melbourne, Michelle, and being only 1 point behind?
No, I think it's great. I think Brisbane played a good game. And again, Melbourne City was without a few players to international duty as well. I think an unfortunate debut for the new Brazilian goalkeeper, Barbara. But Meeks had a really good game. Her opening goal was brilliant. But yeah, I think fair play. Brisbane won. Brisbane showed up, and Riley Henry is probably going to look back at that game, or she's probably not going to watch that game ever again because, yeah, she had a number of chances. I think Riley Henry, she put away her chances, she probably would have won that game for City. But yeah, she's still quite young and will hone her craft. But yeah, I mean, Brisbane 2, Melbourne City 0.
That's
Hooray.
all that matters. Cody.
Yeah, honestly, I've been pretty low on Brisbane for a number of weeks now. That would have been my tip for the wooden spoon before a result like this. But good for them. I don't know how they'll go in terms of actually being able to make a finals run. I think they're only 4 points off.
Yeah, they're not too far.
I forget how incredibly tight this competition is. But I think them doing that probably makes things a little bit harder for Adelaide and Canberra, no matter, even if they are maybe within 9-10 points with a couple games in hand. the fact that the teams in between them are still going to pick up points, that's probably going to be an issue for them. But no, this definitely took me by surprise, even considering the fact that it was in Brisbane. But yeah, no, that's moving on to Melbourne City. That's I won't say disastrous, but you're talking about a side that would have definitely had ambitions for top 2, and that result's probably going to allow Sydney FC to get over the top. Sydney don't take advantage of that whenever they do have to play Canberra United again. But it's great for the neutral in terms of seeing a title race or a top 4 race. So I'll say I did enjoy it in the result.
City, 2 points from the last 5. Not what you want when you try and fight for a title. That is good news for anyone chasing down top spot. Speaking of team that's definitely kind of putting their hat in the ring, Melbourne Victory with, call it 4.5 goals past Wellington with a Riley Foster unlucky own goal. Strikes the crossbar, comes off the back of her head and straight into the goal. And even she was like frustrated as all get out with that. That was just complete unluck. Beatty Goad picks up 2. Tori Hansen picks up 1. Rachel Lowe scores as well. And actually 2 own goals. Jamila Rankin scored an own goal too. Wellington knocked 2 in the 90 to kind of make the scoreline look at least a little competitive. I didn't get a chance to watch this. I did see some of the goals. I did watch the goals back on this, but good result for Melbourne. Need to put goals, and they're kind of hitting their stride at the right time as well. They've 3 wins and 2 draws out of their last 5, so putting their foot down, giving both the Sky Blue teams a kind of run for their money coming into the back end here. Where do you see Melbourne finishing up, Cody? Like, what's their outlook right now? They've got Adelaide, City, Jets, and Sydney to round things out.
Look, the biggest thing I said with Victory this entire season is consistency. This is the first time they've won 2 games in a row since November.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a long time. You've got a period now where you've got Adelaide, City, Jets. I'm surprised I'm saying it about City. There's 3 winnable games for them. They get, say, 7 points out of 9, and that you're making a case for top 2. You put a lot of pressure on Sydney FC for that last fixture as well, which I think they'll want to be doing everything they possibly can to be able to do so. But look, it's an opportunity for them. They go through this period, they can get as many points as they can. Considering they're a side that at one stage we're looking at going, oh, maybe they're petering on 6th, 5th. Maybe they'll make a late top 4 charge. Now they're making a late top 2 charge. So it's funny with Victory. This is the time of the season where they do peak as well. And the fact they've scored 9 goals in their last 2 games, that's definitely not something to scoff at or anything like that. They're definitely going to be a scary prospect moving forward.
100%. Michelle, thoughts on Victory? And Wellington definitely have dropped off since the start that they had as well, where we were like, damn, this is good to see a Wellington team performing, and now they're back to where we kind of thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate for Wellington, but it looks like a lot of the teams the teams who weren't probably doing as well at the start of the season are now clicking towards the end, and which is, kind of more important, really, because you win at the end of the tournament, not at the start. So yeah, and that's not just Wellington. We've seen that with Perth as well. So yeah, I think unlucky for Wellington, but I will say that Jamila Rankin own goal, great finish, great header into the back of her own net. The Chids goal, like, yeah, I mean, I think everyone would love to claim it as Chid's goal. I think she will, no matter if it says it was an own goal on the score sheet, I think she'll still take it as her own. She did everything right there. But you know what? This game was actually crazy even, statistically. Like, Victory had 15 shots, Wellington had 14. They both had the same amount of shots on target and 8. Like, everything was pretty much even in this game. So it's not even to say that Wellington maybe played bad or Melbourne played better. It was just one team was able to put the ball in the back of the net and one team wasn't. So yeah, and I think the return of Beatty Goad coming back in really kind of helped Melbourne. And she did, yeah, a really good job. after her doctor stint. But yeah, now she's back playing, and I don't know what else can this girl do.
Right. Let's take a trip up to the Central Coast, guys, because the Coasties hosted Adelaide this week, 2-0 win. They keep their finals hopes alive, now 4 points clear of that 6th spot going into the final 3. So very interesting to wrap it up on these top clubs. Central Coast have Brisbane, Canberra, City, and Western United to round the season out. So very interesting there for them. 2-0 win. They're looking like a really solid team. Again, it could be that what we saw with the unknown kind of factor where people know how the people play, but in a group, they kind of still got that unknown factor to defend against, but they're putting goals in the back of the net, which is something Adelaide definitely aren't doing right now. Cody, your favourite club's fallen off, nearly out of touch, I would dare say. They are 100%. Oh, wait, can we actually now statistically remove... We can statistically nearly remove Canberra from finals contention, and Adelaide are almost there as well, dependent on results elsewhere. What can Central Coast do to hold that spot and get a finals berth in the first season back?
First off, I'd probably disagree with that point that Adelaide have fallen off. To fall off, you'd need to be somewhere in a decent position to begin with. This season for Adelaide has just been, no, to put it nicely, not very good, which is a shame because there's good players in that side. The Mariners, their next 2 games are Brisbane and Canberra, one of those being at home. I'd argue that's more important than the last 2 games you're playing against City and Western United. That City game, even if City haven't sorted things out by then, maybe Mariners are looking to get over the top
they're
of that
only
side
3
too.
points behind City.
Yeah, I know. It's nice to think about. This Mariners side, they've done extremely, extremely well. Emily Husband's done a fantastic job with them. They've really been able to build throughout the season, which is why I do think they could go into the next 2 matches and get a full 6 points. If they do that, I'd say they've made finals already, even if it hasn't happened statistically yet. If you can get your side to 34 points with 2 games to go, you'd be hard done by to not be making finals. But yeah, look, you go into these 2 games, you do what they need to do. I'd be surprised if they then don't make finals. And considering most of us are saying, yeah, they'll be an alright team, but they might not have that fluidity yet to actually be a force in this competition. They've gotten there maybe around the midpoint way of the season, and we're seeing a really, really good side that deserves to be playing finals football. It's not a case of, oh yeah, they're on a lucky run. This is a good football team. So it's a side that I do kind of hope makes finals as well. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of round off their season, but the next 2 games are going to be very important in that regard, and frankly, it's 2 winnable games.
100%. Michelle, anything to add on the Coasties?
Not really. I mean, I think it's great that they're coming back and, yeah, I guess succeeding. They, I guess kind of started off maybe not like the greatest, and it didn't look like they were going to be making finals, but they didn't look like they were going to finish at the bottom. They were going to be like a solid mid-table team. But no, I think they've been doing well. If they make finals, that's great. It's a competition that is so like tight in that spot, so anyone can still, like I think Wanderers in Brisbane still have a chance to be able to jump up and overtake them and kind of grab that final spot. So yeah, I mean, the only thing the Mariners need to do from here on out for the next 4 regular season games, I think it's 4 games left, is win or hold a point. That's all they need to do. And
just keep moving.
To have that mentality is for, this sort of crunch time is going to be difficult. But yeah, I mean, fair play.
All right, let's go to the most uneven shot game of the week statistically. The Jets, 40 shots, 9 on target to Perth 6, and managed none on target and managed to only get a 1-1 draw after Tash Pryor slots an own goal in the first 2 minutes for Perth. Mindy Barbieri comes back in and gets the Jets that equaliser last minute, but 40 shots and only 9 on target isn't a fantastic result, unfortunately. Especially when Jets need goals and need points to kind of keep in touch with those final spots. Cody, what are the Jets missing? Is there anything Perth can do in these final 4 games to come back up and potentially reclaim one of those final spots that they've just dropped out of?
Yeah, look, I'll be honest, I didn't actually get to see the match in itself, so I look at that 40 shot count, 9 on target. Michelle, we really need shot maps to see where these things are coming from, because this is actually fantastic viewing. I genuinely shocked at that. But look, considering the best thing about Jets has been their attack, you got probably arguably the best striker in the competition this season. I'm surprised they didn't get much, they weren't able to get more in behind Perth. But then again, I'm saying this is someone that didn't actually get to physically watch a match, so I can't go into the details of what actually happened, I guess. But I guess naturally you expect a side with Serena Bolton up top to be able to finish off a few more chances. I guess if you're talking about what Jets are missing, probably consistency. You have a side that's been on a good run of form and suddenly is scraping a point against a team that has probably been on a downwards trajectory, let's be honest. Perth were looking like they'd be a title contender at the start of the season, and now they're hanging on to dear life against a side that at least I predicted were going to come last. It's weird how this league works and how things turn around, but yeah, Jets, I think if they could get a few more results together, they get a bit of consistency under their belt, they'd look fantastic. You had, 2 wins in your last 3, moving into an important stage of the competition. That's the sort of form you need to keep going. Even if, look, this is probably a winnable game for them, let's be real. They should have come out with 3 points. That's how costly that's going to be later on. I'm not too sure, because obviously they've dropped points to Perth. Perth have dropped points as well. But Wanderers, they drop points this weekend. It's a good opportunity for Perth to really gain some ground. Not Perth, Jets to really gain some ground on them. Opportunity for Perth in a finals position. I think it's an issue that could probably translate to both teams. Because you got Jets who really should have blown that game out of the park, and Perth, as much as they're fighting for dear life, maybe they could have done a bit more. Maybe they could have done a bit more to actually seal the game off and not concede 40 shots, I guess. The reality is, if it's not for Morgan Aquino, God knows where that Perth side is right now.
The shot map is interesting.
I need to see this.
I'm about to send it to our chat, so just give me 2 seconds.
Oh, God.
It's not as...
I've put it in this chat in here.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. There's the link there for you, Codes. Crazy. Yeah. That's not what I expected to kind of look at when I saw 40. It's kind of nearly evenly split inside the box, but for that many shots to be inside the box and only 9 to be on target is scary.
It looks like a cluster of it's genuinely on the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah. Like right in front too. Yeah.
That is disappointing, but man, credit to Morgan Aquino then. She is absolutely
she did make
fantastic
a
goalkeeper.
few stunning saves. I remembered seeing that. So,
she has prevented 6.6 goals this season, more than any other goalkeeper in the competition.
I have a question. Great. How long before you start talking about a Matildas conversation with her?
Probably the next friendly cycle. So I reckon, call her up to the Mexico game.
Yeah. I mean,
why not? I think obviously people want their players to be match ready, so people want to have like all the top tier players going. But I think, well, that's what those farewell games are for. Do the farewell games for that sort of stuff, and then these friendlies, let the kids have a play and some rest. But I don't know. I'm not Tony. I think Tony wants to play Mexico with the top team because they did beat the USA. So
not to say you are preparing for Olympics as well. I can understand it in that regard, mind you. I still want to see Jada Wyman play first.
I think the next sort of friendlies, like batch of friendlies.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'd be looking, if she keeps this form up going into the start of next season, surely 2025 is the year she makes the debut.
Yeah. Well, Jada first.
I'm down for that as well, don't worry.
All right, let's have a quick look. We've mentioned a lot of the games coming up. Next week, we've got Perth making the longest away day in Australian history, heading to Wellington for their... Wellington make the away trip across to Perth for their final matchup this year. Canberra, Western United, Brisbane, Central Coast, Adelaide, Victory, Sydney, Western United, and Melbourne City Jets. And then Western Sydney and Canberra are playing a make-up game during the week as well. So a lot of football still to come on your screens here at home. We will briefly just run over what happened overseas because WSL is back as well. I don't think either of Mary Fowler got on. City only used one sub this week. Crazy. And it was
City is a
Mary
whole basket case.
crazy. Alana Kennedy was back on the bench. Mary Fowler did come on as City's only sub. Arsenal got up 1-0 over Tottenham. Happy. North London is red, apparently, Michelle. Congratulations. Steph Catley played a full 90. Ford came off at some point during the game, and KCC came on during the game, and I think Leah Williamson returned from an injury as well. So good to see her back. Viv Miedema is out for a couple of weeks now doing another knee surgery, so that'll be very interesting. Brighton went absolutely ham on Bristol, 7-3. I don't think... Did we have anyone there? No. I don't think Micah's back in goal for Liverpool yet. Nope. Rachel Laws is holding that down.
And this is why this is a problem for our players who are at these clubs and are doing nothing. Why are we allowing this to happen? Like, Mary Fowler sits on a bench. Mary Fowler is one of the best players, by far. All she does is sit on a bench. Barely gets any minutes.
Where do you see, if she was to make another move in the offseason, where does she go to France or something like that? Because
she's already done France.
Okay, where does she go from here? Does she...
No, Montpellier, sorry. I don't know. There are other teams in the WSL that I'm sure would take her as a starting player.
West Ham just turned into the Matildas training squad. Sign everybody.
Funnily enough, I'd back her at Man United.
I was literally thinking the same thing.
I don't know how dodgy to be transferring over the Manchester clubs. I don't know what the heat's like in the women's
Alex
football.
Greenwood did it.
Yeah.
There's so many female... the derby's not as hot in the women's game as it is the men.
In a way, I guess they could be thankful if Mary Fowler wants to make that move.
I would pay it. Please. I would love that. Because we've got Nikita Paris and Melvin Mallard there, but another one wouldn't be too much of a shout. Macca was back in goal for West Ham. Kat Gorry started and came off at some point during the game as well, which is understandable considering she was pretty high load during the international break. And we got no one at Chelsea at the moment playing. Courtney Nevin is playing left wing for Leicester this week. According to
She's done it before.
Yeah, there you go. And Remy was on the bench, which is better than what we've seen in previous weeks. So
she's always on the bench.
Has she? I thought she didn't make a squad for a couple of weeks.
No, she's always on the bench.
My bad.
Just sits there.
Chilling, making peace signs. This week in the WSL, we have Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton, Villa, United, Bristol, Liverpool, West Ham, Brighton, Man City, and Tottenham, Leicester to round out match day 16. Now is that lovely time of the week where I hand the microphone over to you guys. Are there any opinions, thoughts, prayers you want to throw out into the universe and make people listen to? Cody looks like he's got something straight off his tongue. Let's go.
Not opinions, thoughts, or prayers, but literally, I think this was maybe half an hour ago now, but as well, we're recording. 7 News has broken that the Matildas will play in Adelaide in the lead up to the Olympics.
Yeah, there was I didn't bring it up last week because I didn't know how confirmed it was, but apparently someone with the FA did announce that there was going to be 2 friendlies in the lead up.
It's all embargoed until tomorrow. 7 News accidentally leaked it.
When's this episode going to go out?
This is going to go out on Wednesday, so that's okay.
Okay. So I was like, it's not announced yet.
No, we're good.
Oops.
I did hear a rumor last week though while we were recording. Our Uzbekistan.
Is it coming out on Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay, well the other game is in Sydney.
There you go.
Oh,
hoorah,
perfect.
Sydney.
Back in the Matildas active. Fuck yeah.
Let's go. You'll catch us there if we get tickets.
Well, to be fair, 7 News said it first, so that's the reason why I said I don't get this news, to be fair.
But hey, we're not causing any drama. We're here to love and
We're just
share the news that
fans.
we're hearing. Thanks,
I'm just a
Cody, for
fan.
breaking the news. We're okay. All right. Anything outside of that, Cody? Anything that you want to share? Any thoughts, opinions, prayers that you want to throw out to the people listening at home?
No, actually. Maybe a Jada Wyman debut next time that comes around, and hopefully the Young Matildas continue their form and, I never know, maybe even win this tournament, because that would be a hell of a statement. But
100%.
a good run I'll take.
Oh, I was gonna say something, but no, I
Go
probably
on.
shouldn't.
Do it.
No, I won't, because it's too much. But the A-League needs to sort out their security problems, and that's across the board. And no more double headers. And all double headers.
And all double headers. Hashtag Michelle's running for president of the FA. Let's go.
How do you reckon we do running the FA?
No, Cody. That's not
Terrible. Because they don't run the league, okay? They've got nothing to do with the league. All they do is national team and everything else. I don't want to have anything to do with anything else.
Would you back us with business? What if we're running the APL?
No. Let's put something like realistic. I put these guys to you in the chat. Everybody, if you're listening, add us on whatever you can add us on. Imagine the three of us commentating MPL games. Like, how fun would that be? Michelle doesn't look keen, but Cody and I are definitely there.
I'm busy on weekends.
That's all right.
I reckon we take a Sapphire Cup game.
Yeah, let's go. You heard it. We'll set it up. Let's reach out.
Whatever the match of the round is for whatever Sapphire Cup stage they're at, just give that to us and let us talk shit.
Sounds
for 90 minutes.
That'd be so good. I'm putting that into the universe. If you're listening to this and you can make that happen, you know where we are. We're good on microphones.
Come on.
We've been doing this for half a year now. We know what's going on. Give us a run. All right. So make sure you are checking out the Young Matildas, Channel 10, Paramount Plus, wherever you can, to get up to date with all the people coming up through the ranks, because it's going to be really important for you in a couple of years when all of a sudden everyone retires and there's a whole heap of new faces. If you watch them now, you'll know who they are. And then you won't be as scared of new people taking different numbers. See, that was a good one. You'll find us on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're not on X. Don't go there. And YouTube at Talking Tillies. And we'll be back next week with a brand new episode of the show. I think we're nearly up to episode 24 next week. So let's go, team. Hoorah. Goodbye.